I can't believe my first review video hit over 1000 views and now the channel has over 100 subscribers. This is amazing. A very big thank you for everyone who spent their time watching my content. I'm very grateful because I understand everyone's time is precious. Producing content for me is a process that takes hours and sometimes even days to edit and finalize because I'm particular about certain things when it comes to videography, and I want to do right by people who put in their hard work to design and develop these products while best representing the product to my viewers. See, a scene like this is not to make you go, wow, that looks really cool, but it really is to highlight the silhouette and bring out any glossy details of the mouse. My eyes and ears do get a little tired after editing for 15 hours straight though. But it is a creative process that I really do enjoy. I will continue to refine things and improve the quality of my content. It is a work of art, and for everyone to view it, I am very grateful. Thank you for supporting my content. What's up guys, it's Wasabi and I'm back with another review. This video is not sponsored by anyone or any brand. These thoughts are my own and my personal experience with the product. And this mouse is the LAMZU Thorn. Before we get into more details of the mouse, let's take a look at the packaging. Well, because that's what you pay for too. I'm gonna straight up say that LAMZU does their packaging really well. It feels complete. As a consumer, you really do appreciate it when companies throw in a bit of extra stuff here and there. See, things like these raise the standard of what consumers expect from a product. Okay, when I first saw this line of text, I thought that the English does come off a little strange. I think a good alternative to putting a big line of text would be to have the early design sketches of the Thorn on this portion of the box. That would be very cool. So you get the mouse, the dongle, and this really nice pouch they've included. Inside the pouch is where you'll find all your accessories. From my experience with other mice, I've never seen anyone do a dongle like this. This is very cool, very pretty, and it's a nice color. It's the brand color. You get your braided USB-C cable, nice and bendy, and a product manual. Now in this sleeve, you'll find a whole bunch of additional things for your mouse. They've included this sticker which basically covers the bottom side. Because of this bottom shell design, they realized that people might have an issue with dirt accumulating inside the mouse. This is a nice little thing to include to seal the bottom side of your mouse. They've also thrown in a set of PTFE mouse feet and a set of grip tape with cutouts for the side buttons as well. Other than that, that's pretty much what you get in the box. This is a very solid box. Look at that. The overall construction feels solid. That's what I like. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna set some expectations here, and this is pretty important. I want you all to know that LAMZU is a small company. They haven't been around for a long time. They're pretty new to the gaming peripheral market, so you might feel that some things are not as polished as some of the big companies. But that's not to say that this mouse is nothing special. It's priced at $91.99 and you might find a lot of value in this mouse compared to more established brands, but that's for you to decide. So we'll check it out. Something I gotta mention is that this is the day one version of the mouse. Placed an order as soon as it was available on their website for good reason. And the reason I did that is because of this. I've never seen a mouse with such a complex cutout at its base. Which brings us to the design. Now with the design of the LAMZU Thorn, it's a very rounded shape in general. I'll go as far as to say the design is kinda curvy in nature, in the sense that there are no pointed edges or pointed elements in this design, and nothing too aggressive. It's kinda contradicting because the name of the mouse is Thorn, but the shape is so rounded and it looks kinda cute. A nice, friendly, little compact mouse. But don't judge a book by its cover, because for someone who's looking for ultra lightweight ergonomic shape mouse, this thing is a real powerhouse. Like most ergonomic shape mice, the design benefits mainly claw and palm grip users. But what's kinda different about the LAMZU Thorn is that its sides are relatively flat, which makes pinching easy, and oddly enough, it feels pretty natural when you fingertip the mouse. It probably is because of its flat sides and small frame that makes it easy to grip with your fingertips. I do like using a palm grip because of the size of my hand and the size of the mouse. It just sinks in so nicely. It's a complete grip around the mouse for my hand size. To put things into perspective, my hand size is 17.5 by 9. There we go. High five. The first time I got my hand on this mouse, it felt very comfortable. The whole ergonomic class of mice is meant to fit your hand as naturally as possible. But what's interesting, as I mentioned before, the sides are relatively flat, which I would say is a characteristic that is more common on a symmetrical shape mouse. The best way for me to describe the shape of this mouse, how it feels, is that there is a balance of the comfort you would expect from an ergonomic shape mouse, or the control you get from a symmetrical shape. From the shape, you can see here that the bottom kind of curves out towards the left, and that is where your palm sits. While the middle segment of the mouse is so narrow and so flat on sides. So you get that grip you normally find on symmetrical shape mouse, and the comfort of an ergonomic mouse right here. It's a rather interesting feeling. I think most people who get their hands on this mouse for the first time, they're gonna be surprised at how much control you get out of this shape for an ergonomic mouse. If you're someone who finds most ergonomic shape mouse on the market to be too big for your hand, this might very well fit you just nice. This is quite a bit smaller than the standard size you find on the market. And this is how I felt from experiencing a mainstream ergonomic mouse compared to when I first felt the LAMZU Thorn. You can take my word for it that if you found most options available on the market to be too big for your hands, this might be a great choice for you. Just a reminder, my hands are pretty small, it's 17.5 by 9. I have a very comfortable and controllable grip on this mouse, and that is pretty cool. The stated weight on the website and the packaging is 52 grams, while what I got on my weighing scale is 53.9. LAMZU, care to explain? The coating of this mouse is fantastic. You know, for the longest time I was trying to figure out what this coating reminds me of. And for some reason, I kept thinking of the styrofoam boxes I used to see at the fish market. But it's been bugging me for the past few months because styrofoam is not a good example to describe this coating. So yesterday while I was planning this video, I just kept thinking and thinking what would best represent this coating. And then it hit me. Balls. Not my balls. Sorry, children. Not my balls, not anyone's balls, but ping pong balls. You see, with ping pong balls, it's not slippery at all. It's kind of smooth and grippy at the same time. And if you've ever touched a ping pong ball before and do get a chance to get your hands on this mouse, do let me know if that's a good representation of how this feels, because I think that's pretty accurate. I have to say that the grip you get out of this coating is really good. I've never felt a need to use grip tape. Here's a closer look at the coating. Maybe you get a better idea of what I mean by smooth and grippy. This is nice. It looks nice too, and it feels good. For the LAMZU Thorn, there are two color options available, one being the white version, and there is a black version as well. And black mice has a tendency to retain sweat marks on its coating, so yeah, white mice, good. This is how it looks. I like the black and white contrast. It reminds me of a Stormtrooper, if you know what I'm talking about. Star Wars. I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but Stormtroopers, I love the design of Stormtroopers. I think they look super cool. You see, even my microphone is black and white. Stormtrooper. With the LAMZU Thorn, you have optical switches. These feel pretty nice. They're not heavy by any means. They actually feel they're not light, they're not heavy. They're kind of in between. For optical switches, these feel very nice. They are nice and crispy. The side buttons are good. They protrude out quite a fair bit. What I noticed with my unit is that the front side button has a lot less post travel compared to the one at the back. This might differ from unit to unit. I'm not too sure, but it's nothing that bothers me at all, so I wouldn't worry about it. I do like how thick they are though. These look really cool. The scroll wheel on the LAMZU Thorn is pretty shallow, as you can see here, while most gaming mice, it tends to be a little higher. But for this one, it looks kind of sunken into the mouse. There is a benefit to having the scroll wheel so shallow like this. And that is while you're gaming, it's a lot easier to slide your finger over to the scroll wheel. While having it a little higher, you kind of have to lift your finger up to get on top of the scroll wheel. In this case, you can just slide it over to scroll or click. The LAMZU Thorn has the port 3395 sensor. Now, this sensor in particular comes from a company called PixArt Imaging. This is the company which majority of mice brands get their sensor from. Now the POR 3395 is the latest that is available for most brands to purchase, and this sensor goes up to 26,000 dpi. Now PixArt sensors are very good, they are very reliable, very accurate, and with this sensor you can also enable motion sync, which is a function that I don't really notice the difference between it being on and off. Now with LAMZU software, you can adjust the debounce time. On default, it's set to 12 milliseconds, but you can pretty much set it between 0 and 20 milliseconds. LAMZU Thorn, you can set up to 5 different DPI profiles. Now the reason why you can see 2000 Hz and 4000 Hz on report rate here is because I have it attached to LAMZU's 4K dongle right now. By default, with the USB dongle included with the mouse, you can only go up to 1000 Hz. On top of that, you can select different modes, lift-off distance, peak performance, which is a battery saving option if I'm not wrong. With the software, you can create your own macros if you like. What I'm impressed with this mouse and the software is how quickly you can pair the mouse to the dongle. It is an instant connection. All you gotta do is press and hold on the left and right mouse click and the scroll wheel, and as soon as you let go, it immediately syncs up to your dongle. So the LAMZU Thorn is capable of going up to 1000 Hz with the standard dongle that comes included with the mouse. But if you want to go up to 4000 Hz, you gotta get this additional dongle, which goes for $14 on LAMZU's website. Is it a need to get the 4K dongle? I'd say probably not. But if you do have spare $14 lying around somewhere and you want to experience high polling rates, then give it a shot. Why not? The battery life of the LAMZU Thorn goes up to 80 hours on 1000 Hz. 4000 Hz, it goes to 20 hours. Mouse skates on the LAMZU Thorn, these are very nice, very smooth. I think a lot of people will like it. So how does it feel in game for me? It's very easy to control, nice and comfortable. And I think the reason why it's so controllable is because of the sensor placement right here. The sensor placement is right where my thumb rests, and this feels like such a natural and controllable position for me. I very much prefer it when my sensor placements are positioned closer to where your thumb rests, compared to designs that position themselves smack right in the middle of a mouse. It tends to fall further back into where my hand is positioned, which is a personal preference. I don't know, it feels a lot easier to control a mouse when the sensor is positioned closer to my thumb. That's how I feel about it. So in conclusion, let's run through some of the things that I like about this mouse. The bottom of the mouse. Is it just me? Because I think this looks really unique. Sensor placement is spot on. And the clicks of the mouse is nice and crispy for an optical switch. So what are the things that could be improved? You see, because this is an open bottom design, let's get some light here so you can see. Because this is an open bottom design, dust and dirt tends to get into the PCB. And that's usually fine, it's unavoidable. But if you notice these two white strips over here, this is exposed adhesive. So what happened with my experience is that some hair and dust did get stuck onto it. It's still kind of sticky. It is still sticky, which is very strange. I don't think this should be a thing. It would be nice if the 4K dongle came as standard with all LAMZU mice. With mice technology these days, they probably should make 4K a standard feature. And the last thing that bugs me quite a bit, the on and off switch here looks pretty cheap. I think what they can do is double up this DPI button as a power button. These are just some things to mention. Other than that, I think LAMZU did a pretty good job with their first ergonomic mouse. I think LAMZU is going in the right direction with their gaming mice. They have quite a few ultralight options that appeals to different grip styles. And the quality and performance of the mice are generally good for its price. So to summarize the LAMZU Thorn, I'd say it's an ergonomic powerhouse for high performance gaming. It appeals to a lot of people who are interested in ultra lightweight mice. It has the polling rate capabilities to go up to 4000 Hz. You get the comfort of an ergonomic and the control of a symmetrical mouse. And it's appealing to people with smaller hands or anyone who's interested in gaming mice of a smaller form factor. And there you go. These are some of my thoughts and experience with the LAMZU Thorn. I think a lot of small companies are coming up with pretty great designs and options for gamers out there. And when it comes to technology, they are not far behind from the big guys. So what do you think about the LAMZU Thorn? Is this a mouse that will appeal to you or someone you know? Let me know in the comments below. I think this channel is off to a pretty good start. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you in the next one. Sorry, children.